Hmm. Are we up? We are up. Okay. True to form. 15 minutes behind the outer estimate for when I get online here. It's always a pain in the ass to get organized enough to do it. Alrighty. And throw one in here for good measure. All the notifications. All the carbonated beverages. So for some reason, I had to put my lights on really bright. But, okay. And everything else. Oh yeah, I'm wearing a collared shirt today because, well, because everything else is in the laundry. But, so yeah. I have finally ported the IBIS tool, which doesn't have a name still. We're going to see how long it takes for me to get food coma from the gigantic burger that I just consumed offline. But until then, I'm going to just start poking at this thing. It is, it's real slow because it doesn't have any caching on anything. So I don't know what's in here. I mean, I do know what's in here, but there's also going to be just like some stuff that's just still not quite right. Might actually, where are we at with that? Oh yeah, it's crawling right now, probably precisely because I'm running OBS at the same time. It's like several seconds behind. I don't know why, like whenever I start streaming, like I instantly start feeling tired. I instantly start being like yawny and stuff like that. Everything's so slow. anybody's watching yet, so I can, oh no, there is somebody watching. Look at that. Okay. What are we doing? The way that, like, because intertwingler, the way that it works is, well, I mean, it's just not the most efficient at the moment, because like there's like no caching at all, because I would need some kind of modification time like in the actual database itself, and the database is not SQL, it is RDF. And RDF storage is interestingly still kind of niche-y. Like there's a couple that are interesting, like there's the oxygraph, which is interesting, written in Rust. I don't think it has bindings for Ruby. See, the problem, so like this tool, and of course I don't have a name for it because it hasn't come into like it like I've just been calling it the IBIS tool. Like that's what you're looking at on this screen is this IBIS stuff, which is this particularly. So the idea is in IBIS, it was invented in the 70s or the 60s, whatever. You got an issue, and like an issue is a thing in the world that you want to do something about, and then you've got positions which say like specific things that you want to do about the issue, and then you've got arguments for like why or why not, and then that can suggest another issue, and you go around, and so you'll get like structures like that. My color palette is different, obviously. And so people have made, like, the original design was like a collaborative problem-solving exercise, like done on index cards in like 1969. But, and like people have been digitizing these things for freaking ever, right? Like there's, do we have a handy thing? Sure. So like here's the design from like run on like SunOS from the guy in from this guy Conklin, who he had like this entire company like built around it called Compendium, which is still around actually, except he's sort of like pivoted to other stuff. But that design, this sort of basic idea of like you've got like, you know, you've got these issues, then you respond to the issues with positions, and then you argue about why or why not the position or the issues should be, or the positions should be taken on the issues. And so this is basically what you got right here. The only thing is that the view is a little different. In my design, I say like the page is the issue, and so issues are red, positions are green, and arguments are blue. And the arcs that go between them have like different types as well. And so, you know, like, sure. So, you know, here's an issue. Well, there's whatever. And you know what's funny is this palette is like pretty much legacy. Like I had random like ideas about like, or not random, sorry, like I just like more or less like pick the colors at random, but like they've basically been this way for 12 years, not quite 12 years. God, that's freaking slow when OBS is running too. Yeah, this is definitely still prototype grade, but it is uh, like basically what I'm gonna do is like at some point in the next like week or so, I'm gonna kind of bum rush the caching and crap and just do that all in one shot. Because like it's definitely doing a lot more computing than it needs to. Like stuff like even for example like the ranking on these graphs, for example, like that shit only needs to be computed like once, like every time the graph is changed. Like it doesn't need to be computed any more than that. And so that like just would be on its own would just be a very simple, straightforward thing to do. Sorry, it's not going to be simple. It's going to be a whole freaking pain in the ass. But because what I have found, like since all of this stuff is RDF, like all of this, everything in here is RDF, like even the CSS is RDF, like that's how the color palette gets assigned. Um, so how would I put it? The so the story for this tool goes to what is this? Hang on, we'll start there. So the story for this tool goes like back in like 2006, 2007, I was working at a company where we were going to scan the entire internet for like basically like illicit email senders. And God, that is so slow with the frickin' frick on it. I can actually, there's like a bunch of stuff that I can do to speed it up that doesn't even involve caching. I'm sure it's just like got to rearrange some stuff. So yes, we were like, our job was like, so we had a bunch of B2B sort of appliances. Like this is before everything was cloud. So the company sold like pizza boxes and you just plug the internet, in one end, you plug your email server in the other end, and that's how it does anti-spam. So of course these things were sending back telemetry, these packets every 5 minutes that were like, good grief. It's like, I remember having a conversation with the guy who designed the freaking telemetry, and I was like, man, like, why did you not just do this? Like, this is an email company. Like, why did you not just like use a freaking off-the-shelf MIME message thing for this? Because he did like something that looked kind of like an email, but like wasn't like protocol-wise. Like it was like not conforming to the thing. So you had to go and write like a custom parser to parse these freaking things. And it's like, you could have used like just an off-the-shelf MIME message parser and it would have worked. It would have been like, there would have been barely any difference between like what the guy made and what we ended up with. And the guy was like, oh yeah, that seemed like it could have been a good idea. Like, this is in production. Anyway, this is why I'm a consultant now, because I don't have to live with stuff like that. Anyway, so these telemetry packets, whatever, they would obviously tell us the IP addresses of like who was connecting on port 25 or whatever, SMTP. I don't know. SMTP has like some other funny thing port now, doesn't it? Is it like 465 or something like that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so they were getting these telemetry, and we were going to scan the entire internet for it, basically. Like, we just throw it all into a database, and we're going to try to figure out, like, try to map it out, like who owns what blocks, and is this a cable modem, and that kind of stuff, and then just like feed that into the spam filters. And there were a few people doing this kind of thing at the time. It's like it makes perfect sense, whatever. But like, we had to write a bunch of custom software for this to happen. And it was all sort of infrastructure stuff. It was all kind of headless. And so, of course, the boss wanted to know, like, when was it going to be done? When are we going to have, when are you going to have this thing done and that thing? Because it's, deadlines and whatever, right? standard stuff. And the problem was, I mean, with this company, like the problem was like there was nobody really in charge of designing it, like designing the thing. Like it was not a, like it was kind of like everybody doing their own. Not exactly. It's hard to say. Like, it's been so long. Like, it was almost 20 years ago. It was like 18 years ago, 17 years ago, whatever. Which is weird to say. But, it would be like, so, we're going to make a component of some kind or another. And, like, we get to, like the guy wants to know when it's going to be done. And of course, when you don't really know what you're making, that's kind of hard to say. And so so I got very interested in the problem of accurate time estimates. And as it went, like effectively, like I came up with this thing, I called it like a behavior sheet. And like what you do with a behavior sheet is you get like an outliner. It could be any outliner, doesn't matter. It could be a Google Doc, could be Omni, could be Obsidian, could be org mode, doesn't matter. And you start bashing out bullet points of like, so I'm going to make this particular module. This outliner has this module in question, and I'm going to I'm going to write out all of the things that the code, the particular module, like must and must not do, and what I found, so like I would do these and I would get like incredibly accurate estimates from doing these behavior sheets. And this, you got to remember, this is like libraries. Like this is writing like system software. It's all headless. There's no UI on these particular things. Like, so they are like about as sanitized and sort of like lab conditions for this kind of stuff as you can get away with. There's no real wild cards in it, notwithstanding like what's sort of intrinsic to the code. And so, yeah, I was generating these extremely accurate time estimates. And there was a catch though. And the catch is that it took as long to do the estimate as it did to write the code. So, if you've got a boss who wants to know right this second, like when is the thing going to be done, it's useless for that. But what it was useful for is, yes, I could, if I started on Monday, at 9 a.m., writing a behavior sheet, I would, by, Wednesday afternoon, at lunchtime, I could tell you that the piece of, code would be done at, at end of day on Friday, reliably. And so I got to thinking, I put that away because there wasn't actually really a lot of support for it at the time. It was kind of a curiosity, but like people weren't actually interested in operationalizing it because, again, the boss wants to know right this second how long it's going to take, which is stupid, but they always do. And this was like a rigorous way of getting that information. And so I thought about it too. I was like, well, what can we do to, there were two things. One of them was, what can we do to make it so that this process doesn't take so long? And the other thing that we was like, just what about designing the thing in general? Because so about a year later, this would have been in 2008. I got a copy of Christopher Alexander's Notes on the Synthesis of Form, which is, Christopher Alexander is, of course, the pattern language guy. Notes on the Synthesis of Form is his first book. I mean, it's not technically his first book because he had another one where he was the co-author on, but this is the first book he wrote by himself because it was his PhD thesis. In that book, he talks about the book is about the problem of problem solving. So it's about the problem of, like, well, how do you solve a complex problem? And the idea, what he says, is he says you solve a complex problem by breaking it up into pieces. Then you break the pieces up into pieces, and you do this recursively until you have a set of isolated problems that you can solve. Each of them you can solve. Now, so I thought this was interesting. And the other thing about that book is he talks about like using mathematics to do like a topological decomposition. So, you know, what you do is you get everything into a graph, comme ça, and then you use a frickin' min-cut algorithm to partition it. Now, I fooled around with this in 2008, sort of around the cusp of 2009. And so the methodology goes kind of like this. Like step one, get all your fitness variables, which is what he called these elements. He only had one kind of element, just by the way. It was just this thing called a fitness variable, and it was either satisfied or unsatisfied. And he said that if you, you would imagine that the effect of satisfying a fitness variable would, since they were all connected, it would affect all the other ones, right? So like if you had like, you know, 2 in a not satisfied state, flipping this one would also flip this one. But if you had 1 in a satisfied and 1 in a not satisfied, then flipping it would flip the other one. Now that would propagate to the entire network. And he's like, well, that's basically damage. Like that is like irreconcilable things and so on. So you can't, so what we're going to do is we're just going to like unceremoniously cut these things, but we're going to cut the fewest ones that we can get away with. And so he had this thing called Heideck's, this sort of hierarchical decomposition algorithm. It's basically a recursive min-cut. You partition the partition, you partition the, you know, you get like a smaller and smaller piece of graph. And so that was interesting. And at some point, I think it was 2009 again, where I was just, you know, bored and I was looking at YouTube or whatever, and there was a salon thing with Douglas Engelbart. And it's about an hour long, and like near the end, he starts talking about this thing called structured argumentation. I'm like, what the heck is that? And of course, being Engelbart, he's like making noises with his mouth and stuff while he's trying to explain this thing. So anyway, I go and I look up structured argumentation, and I find 2 kinds. There was this one that was like a counterterrorism thing, and it was basically just like analysts. Yeah, it was this thing for counterterror. It was really interesting, but like there wasn't a lot about it. It was like kind of under lock and key. And then there was this other thing, which was IBIS, and which is what you're looking at right now, or at least my take on it. And so naturally I implemented the one that I had access to, which was IBIS, and this is what it is. And so I wrote a vocab for it very early on. When did I write it? It says the first one was December 11th, 2012. I actually think it was earlier than that, but I just didn't date stamp it. But neither here nor there. And of course, I also didn't commit it for the longest time either. Like I just kind of puttered with it. Like I didn't actually like put it in version control. So I don't know how old it really is, but it's December 2012. So almost a year later, it was around Halloween of 2013. So when I make the first cut of this thing, it does not look at all like it did back then. And it's actually kind of funny because like it has like vestiges of old, like I was a real sort of progressive enhancement hardliner, and like I was adamant. Like part of the reason why this like takes so long to load and stuff is because it's actually doing server round trips because it's that old. But like I kind of had this insistence that like everything JavaScript also had to be backed up by a non-JavaScript thing. And actually that was the whole reason why I wrote this thing in the first place, because I hadn't planned on it, right? Like I wrote the vocab, which has gone through many iterations. Well, iterations is not. I've gone back to it. I haven't like really fully, like I don't like the term iteration. Actually, I find like it's more like incrementality. Like it's the Alistair Coburn stuff where he's like, there's iteration and there's increments, and they're not the same thing. Increments are like when you add something to it. I don't think I've done very many destructive changes to this. There's like a couple that are, I would say, quasi-destructive, but I don't think I've ever actually removed anything from this. But I've definitely like destructively changed the relationships between the stuff. Not that that super matters. Like if you're not familiar with these ontologies, and of course an ontology is a data spec, like the actual data for the ontology is embedded in the spec. Like you can suck this out with code, and then you can execute code over it. It's handy that way. But that's neither here nor there. I don't understand why more people don't do this kind of stuff. Like it's bananas to me that it doesn't get more uptake. But anyway, I'm not here to criticize other people's freaking web dev stuff. We could get into a big fight over it, I'm sure. So yeah, excusez-moi. So on one hand, I have the like, the what's it called? I come up with this behavior sheet thing. It's really useful for time estimation, except with the drawback that it takes so goddamn long. Then I discover the Alexander stuff. Again, all you got to do this topological decomposition is you got to go out and get your variables. Turns out that's most of the work. Turns out that's a whole crap load of effort, because then you gotta get all the variables, and then you have to like bash them down. You gotta beat them down to be the same sort of conceptual scope, be at the same conceptual level, because otherwise they're too chunky. And so that's why I thought the IBIS stuff was so interesting, was because it sort of takes the idea of this sort of topological decomposition of like a problem and says, and the problem of getting the variables down to the sort of uniform conceptual scope. But then it adds this hierarchical structure. Like, for example, all the blue links here are like a generalized specialized relationship. And so, for instance, like when I say, I want to use intertwingulator when that's like the thing being represented there. Let me just see if I can spot a good one. I mean, what is this? Put methodinstructor.com into intertween. Yeah, that could be it. Where do we got extra software? That is not. Alright. So I want to use Intertwinkler to run my stuff. Or I can go over to the client. But what's very interesting is that like the hierarchy, so like this is a hyperbolic, this is a Poincaré disk. It's actually, the math is not right at all. Like these would be miles apart from each other. But that's, again, not that big of a deal. We're going to mess with that. Like, it's going to be nice, like now that this bastard works, it's been ported over. I can actually do things like spend time on like just fixing this visualization. I can spend time on just making the UI faster. I can spend time on like nice little accoutrements. Like I don't have to hit the update button. Again, this is what I'm saying, like vestiges of, you know, stuff being around from eons ago. Anyway. But yeah, so the blue lines are generalize, specialize, and good chance that it's, yeah, okay. Oh, we can even like trace through like, okay, so what is this? This is probably put, yeah, it's basically redoing a lot of work. One thing that actually I gotta check out is to what extent does the what's it called? Load. To what extent does the RDF JavaScript stuff, like if it can use local storage, like if it can use local storage and be fast, then I wouldn't have to load this crap every time. I would just be able to, or even better, I could compute the freaking rankings and the crossings, just do it in freaking JavaScript and tuck it away on the client side. That's not a bad idea. Because this only needs to change when the graph actually changes. So I hit the thing, if modified since, it says 304, and then it shrugs. That would be ideal. Anyway, I'm talking to myself about this. Actually, I could put that into this thing right now. I can show you how it freaking works. But as you can see, as we go down, the other thing too is I used to have on this was I had a, like if you moused over this, like that would light up. And if you moused over this, this would light up. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I do know why it's not there anymore. It's because, that was like in all old code, but I don't know why I haven't set aside the time to do that again. Okay. Yeah, the palette is a freaking monster. Like, the palette is all Sass. It's all keyed off of RDF-A, and so like it generates like insanely huge CSS, and it's gigantic. Although I do have it in Sass, like I started out, I was like doing all the things by hand, and then I discovered Sass, and holy crap, did that ever change my life? But as you can see, like it moves off center, like that is the top. This is the next one down. Ooh, I didn't actually ask for that. Where did it go? Nope. Yes. Okay, so do we actually want to keep this domain alive? God, why are you so slow? I mean, I know why you're so slow. Because I haven't made you fast yet. But Jesus, taking forever. It's gotta be the fact that like OBS is running, because like OBS running like puts, it's like, yeah, there's like a load of 5.3 running right now. Jesus, no freaking wonder. Which is weird because I thought it was like the hardware code. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, poor IBIS tool to instrument. This is what's happening. I can actually, the other thing that I've been meaning to do is like a status thing so that I can like click and say that the thing has like there's like a little checkbox on it or something like that. But I'll just do this for now. And that's going to get fixed. But this all works still now, which is fun. It's just real slow right now. It's kind of too bad that you couldn't, I guess you kind of can. Like you can have, what's it called in a, cross my brain right now. So this is the impending food coma, like I was saying, because I'm eating the giant burger like, what, an hour ago? Not even. Like every time I go streaming, that's like, yeah. So another thing I want to do is I want to get like a little procedural music generator or something like that, like a mess with Super Collider or something like that, so that I can not just have me talking, but have some little ambient-y stuff. Yeah, well, you know, whatever. Okay, so, so that, but this should also be, oh, that's that, right. So you can see that, like, you know what? Let's just bust this open right now and like actually add the lighting up on this right now, because I'm kind of sick of not having that like that. Let's try to remember how the hell I did it before. Okay. Do you have an event on you? No, you don't. But you should. You should have the whole event on you. Or, you know, because you've got it. Do you? You've got it. But that should have the... See... Okay. It's probably just the wrong damn one. The way that I implemented the palette, the like states, like the palette is just like this giant grid of or like key values, or I don't know. Anyway, and so there's like each like there's like 7 or 8 grades of thing, but they're not. It's like it's. I need to kind of not go back and mess with it as much as like sort of I don't know. Not like rethink it. That's not the word that I want to use, but. So what if I put like a mouse over on the form? So there's an about in there. That's what it is. You can see that address is the same. So if I said, okay, if I'd like threw on some, do these have events? Just a second, where are we going here? I mean, they might. They do not. Or do they? No, they don't. So that's not. No, that's fine. So here's what I do. Let's bust open the SAS. I didn't want to put that there. Whatever. Oh, for fuck's sake, Emacs. Okay. This is probably... It's going to be a question of finding these things. Section about. Okay. So LI is a type of, or is it a... About, let me just get that back here. Cute. Oh, there's a type of in there. Okay. So we want to... Let's find hover. You've got to hover on there. Okay. Is it possible to fake up a hover state? Like, can you just, like, tell something that it's hovering? Freaking googs. Can I fake a hover state? Oh, jQuery. It's like, obviously you can, obviously I can just do a class, but ideally, yeah, it's just faking it. Like, obviously, yeah. What is this bullshit? It's fine. Just call it. Whatever. And I'm sure there is SCG. Oh yeah, no, I called it subject. Neighbor. I see. I don't understand. Okay. Subject. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we just got a bunch of shit in the loader. Sure. Handle autofill. Click radio. So that's the overlay stuff. Let's just chuck it in here then. God, how do you do this again? This is going to be great. From memory, like I've been doing JavaScript mouse overs for 25 fucking years. Jesus Christ. It's like, and I can never remember how to do it. What do we call it here? Which has got the color? You got it. Color border, color background, color. You have color inherit. Okay. So it's just in the background color as an inherit. So yes, that's this. So if I said probably going to change this. It's okay. Here, I'll make it bigger for you. There you go. If so, first is going to be like do you know what? I'm just going to like double check. Is like it called mouse in now? I mean, get out of here. Because it's like done this so many freaking times. Oh, mouse enter. What is the difference between mouse over and mouse enter? Oh, that's what it is. Cool. Mouse enter. Doesn't matter. So if I am e.target, okay, let, oops, const equals e.target, e.target, then we will document dot query selector all. We'll do this here. Oops. Oops. Okay. Main section dot relation. I'm sure I could also, like, it's okay. It's fine. Do this, actually. So if I said Is it href or xlink href? I think it's just href these days. I think they've like blown up the xlink. Yeah. Okay. Is that going to be that easy? Oh, I know. I can just like bundle this into one freaking thing. Here, I'll just get rid of this. And then we say parade from each. We don't need this. God, JavaScript is so dumb. How do you, what is the event? What is it, just like event.name? Oh, you can't see the inherited ones. How do you just get the name? Put it in there? Is it called type? Yes. Okay. So, here's what we're actually going to do. Func equals, oh, const. Stop that. I'll probably have to do some bastard thing. So, actually, how do you, oops, do this? So I say like event.type, e.type, right. Or even better, I can do like a bastard thing. I can do this. Do. How do you toggle? Oh, oops. Class names. There's like a there's another one. Right, there's like class list. Yeah. So this is what we're going to do. Oh, I can just do this. I don't have to. Oops. No. Okay, it says add. Remove. Yeah. So then I just do this. Type. Whatever. Guess it doesn't like it in there. No, you don't want that. That's legal. What are you doing? Oh, come on. Whatever. Oops. You need to return true, right? I don't freaking know. That's cargo culting. I can't remember. And then we say... IDE, this is Emacs. Specs? What are you, what am I, a bot? Okay, make. Oops. Just make. Jesus. This is going to take forever too because it's freaking compile, or not compile, what am I saying? Because of OBS is running. Although we're only down at 254. I got to figure out a nicer way to do this. Right now it's not nice. Yeah, it's going to be freaking slow as hell loading that back up. That would be really funny if it worked, though. Do I have the make file? It's fine. Okay. It's going to take freaking forever to load because nothing has been sped up. If that like just works without without like me being completely out of practice, god damn, you're taking forever though. The other thing about it too is like there's definitely some stuff that you probably could get moved around. I mean, I said that already. Said as much. Okay. What does that look like on the console? It does not. Did that even see? This is the thing. It's in there. Thing is like sometimes it doesn't load. Where are we here? Debugger. We can. What, you can't reload it? Where's my reload? You can go into the network. Do this is going to take another freaking century though. Okay, you actually downloaded it though, but you turtle manned it. Oh yeah, one day we're going to have to go and sit down and freaking add caching to this cause it's just like so many of these are like, I mean, a lot of them are already FA too. They're not like JSON because reasons. But like, for example, like that could be RDFA or JSON. This could be JSON. But we're gonna do that. There's like a whole plan. Let me just put it that way. I should have. First of all. Oh, it's fucking document now. No. That's stupid. What are you doing? Sorry. Alright, up front. Document.query selector all, and then it's like section. Relations li type of, and then CGA type of, obviously href. Jesus Christ. Why doesn't it work? Because you didn't put the frickin' thing on the thing. Good grief. Dum-dum. Big dum-dum. Ugh, there's no... See, there's no nice way to make JavaScript. There's no, like, JavaScript is so freaking ugly. Anyway. CP, where are we here? Now can we please... Oh, I should have stuck some other stuff in there. It's fine. Do you have an event on you? You do not. Mm. It isn't? I guess that works now, though. Like you're on. How is it not a valid selector? Is it because you're... Is it... Oh, because you're fucking... bigger boat. Always fucks up that SSLT. It's like it disappears, it doesn't come back. That's actually probably. So the difference, the thing is though, like if I go here. You got an event. Which one are you running? Should it be capture, not bubble? I don't know. I can never remember. Oh, no. Well, it's not complaining. Try that. All right. I forgot that this does not load until it's loaded, which I think I'm gonna like actually change, because that's like one other thing. It's like it's waiting to load, but it could be loading. Like it could be loading the data and computing it, but it's not. It's waiting to load to render it. So that's definitely, so you're gonna do it. Okay. So you're not. Unless, of course, you are not reloading the fucking thing. Did I copy anything? Okay. Resend. Okay. Good grief. So many things in here that are like monsters. So You're definitely in there. Okay. Maybe they're empty. I don't know. It's possible. Zero. Do you know what actually surprises me? So this obviously, yes, it's not getting run because it's not getting selecting anything. Okay. No freaking wonder. Hmm. So that's weird, man. You can't see that. We got 132 A's, which is what we would expect. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. How do you escape CSS? Right. Where did you go now? Is this you? It could be. What does that even look like? Oh, no fucking wonder. Fine, we'll just do that. Nothing. That annoys me. We could use XPath. That's a bug. That, I find this annoying. That works. What happens if you do that? Yeah, that's a bug. Or it's not there. because it's a freaking... Nope. Yeah, that's a bug. It should work. Well, we can't rely on that. So I can't be clever. Although, what I can do this. Filter. Actually, let me just check something first. Fuck you. You know what? This is probably, I'm just going to check it on Chrome. That's in the other window. I don't load up Chrome. Huh. Stars global. Oh no. Okay. So it is. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Because we can't just have nice things. but you have to have an explicit return. Stupid. Whatever. I find this exhausting. Computer.